Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fireside Football Chat, episode number 3. He's Jay, I'm Chip, and we're going to give you our analysis on football games from college to pro, add in some other info that we saw with our own eyes over the weekend that makes us scratch our head, Jay. I have to tell you. I have to ask one question, and maybe it's the same in college or it's just the NFL, but how can we be consistent if the NFL is inconsistent? That's what I love to know.
Chip, I got to tell you, it's no different in college right now.
Ugh.
I'm feeling the same thing. Okay, look, just this weekend, a couple of games we throw out there, Oregon and Notre Dame. Those two teams, they look in the first couple of weeks like a shell of what they were last week. I don't know what they took or what got into them different. And it happened multiple times. How about Georgia? Georgia, clobbering squads. What'd they get by Kentucky by 1 last week?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense, Jay.
Chip, right now, with minimal data, all I can chalk this up to is the NIL and the transfer portal. I don't know what else to blame. Maybe this, Chip. Maybe the fact that we've got this new 12-team playoff system, and potentially some of these teams are going, you know what? Especially the ones in the big conferences, I could potentially lose 2 football games and still make it in. I'd hate to think that that's the way their minds work. But potentially, I don't know what else to hang this on. It
doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. We know it's a long season, but what happened to consistency? I don't know if I want to go back to this. Some people for against preseason and hitting. Same thing in college. I know it preserves the body. But it just seems like, especially in the beginning of the year, it's hard to figure out what is what and how we pick them. I mean, look at Vegas. Gardner Minshew coming in to Baltimore. And not just covering, winning outright. This doesn't make sense to me. Baltimore needs that win. They're supposed to be one of the favorites in the AFC. New Orleans, they blew away what? Carolina? Okay, they go into Dallas and blow them away. They have that much speed. Jay, and that's just a couple instances that I throw out there. I mean, I'm going to make this in my pick, but Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Drafted high, right? Drafted high. They go to Carolina, both of them. They get shipped out of town. And now they're flourishing. And the overall number 1 pick in the draft last year, Bryce Young, is getting benched for another guy, Andy Dalton. Is he going to light it up? I just don't get this, Jay. I don't know. I don't know if you have anything else with college about this, but I'll just give you my crazy college pick that I think's coming. But when you're done, let me know, because I think this is my pick for college is a little crazy. People are going to think I'm crazy. And you know what? What do we do now? I don't know.
Chip, sadly, I have no other explanation. All I can offer you is what I had said, which is the potential. I think I did mention a smaller sample size, but the potential of the NIL transfer portal coupled with this new playoff system. That's all I can hang my hat on.
What about NFL? There's no portal. There's no NIL. They're trying to get paid. It just seems too inconsistent. It really does. But with that being said, you want me to give you my crazy college pick?
I'm all ears, as I like to say.
As I'm perusing, looking at these lines, trying to figure out again, trying to be on the right side of the ball. That's what all we're trying to do.
Always are.
I mean, come on. We're not Vegas. We don't make the lines. We don't have all the data they have. We have a lot because we all have cell phones and iPads, right?
That's correct.
But I'm perusing down, and I look. Cal is coming in to play Florida State. Now, Florida State is a dumpster fire at best. They lost, talking about the NIL, look what happened at the end of last year, and then they lost so much to the portal. NIL helps into that. And who knows if they're going to win a game this year? Right?
What do you think Mike Norvell is thinking? This guy had a team that was going to waltz into the playoffs last year. Quarterback goes down.
Then what?
They don't make it. And now
Everybody's gone.
everybody's gone, and the guy can't win a football game. Help me out here, Chip.
So I'm going to help you.
Help me out, please.
No, you answer this question for me. If Cal is 3-0 and Florida State's 0-3, and Cal's coming across the country, and Cal's not the Little Sisters of the Poor. No offense to the Little Sisters of the Poor, but we always use that reference. But they're 3-0. FSU is 0-3, yet Florida State's giving points, 2.5 points to Cal. How does that happen? We don't even know if they're going to win a game. All of a sudden they should be given, to me, at least a touchdown. I mean, they're that bad. So that jumped out at me. I'm scratching my head. Too easy to say 3-0, 0-3. Cal's only given 2.5. All they got to do is win by field goal. But guess what? That's why I'm taking Florida State. You probably think I'm crazy. They probably think I'm crazy. But guess what? I don't care. They have me painted in a corner. I have to make crazy decisions. But let's keep an eye on that. We never know. So, Jay, tell me what you got this week in college football. Because I don't know how you're going to do it, but go ahead.
Here we go. Okay, Chip, this week we're headed to Norman, Oklahoma, all right, where the chants will be heard all the way back to Knoxville, all right? That's right, all day long in Norman. You ready for it?
Yes, I am.
Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee.
He's singing.
Rocky Top, Tennessee. That's right, Josh Heupel, former player and OC, returning to Oklahoma, coming home to blow up the reunion, folks. And trust me on this, he will run up the score if he has a chance. Okay, the tidal waves take over as Oklahoma and their D make stop after stop after stop. I don't think so. Tennessee's offense is just way too powerful. Okay, the quarterback, Nico, I think it's Malava, and the O, they're going to tire out Oklahoma's defense after they hammer them with quick tempo, and they go quick. Okay, Tennessee's D, no problem. They're going to make stops. Their D-line depth is sensational. And I don't know if you get a chance to watch them at all, but they really are. I'm not threatened by Oklahoma's offense at all. They're averaging a measly 25 a game in their last two versus Houston and Tulane. Chip, I got a couple numbers I'm going to throw your way.
Throw them at me. Okay. I'm here to catch.
Here they are. 304, 249, 456. Any idea what they potentially could be?
I thought you were throwing out a phone number, but you forgot that last digit. So I do not know, Jay. Give it to me.
Well, Chip, that's Tennessee's weeks 1, 2, and 3 rushing yard total.
Wow.
Again, folks, I'll mention that.
Huge.
304, 249, 456. Sweet Jesus, Chip.
Sounds like they're running through some big holes.
Oh, big, gaping holes. No doubt. I just don't think Oklahoma can keep pace. They're going to be Oklahoma's D is going to be smoked by the fourth quarter. As a matter of fact, I think Venables is going to be dialing up the local nursing homes at halftime. They're just searching for any oxygen he can get his hands on for his players. So, with that being said, make the pick, folks. Okay, Tennessee -6.5 at Oklahoma will be as stress-free as last week's Fighting Harbaugh's lambasting of the Panthers. Without any hesitation at all, Chip, you load up on the Vols because it's easy work.
There you go. There you go.
Next up, USC -5.5 at Michigan. Michigan has a quarterback controversy. Yes, they do. Okay? Right now, their offense is brutal. I'm sorry, it really is. Considering they're potentially going to a guy that's thrown 7 passes in his career. at Michigan in Alex Orgy.
Who?
That's right, Chip. And normally, I'd say, who doesn't love a good orgy?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
But in this case, save your jar of penicillin and steer it clear. Because this won't be a good time for Alex Orgy. Okay?
That's great.
USC is ranked 11th in the country, and their offense is blazing hot, averaging 37.5 a game, and beat Utah State 49-0 in their last contest. The big surprise to this point is their D. Right? Their defense, they hadn't been known for their defense, but after poaching D'Anton Lynn from UCLA, by the way, D'Anton Lynn, former Penn Stater, just had to get that in there. This looks like a completely different D from the last few seasons. They beat LSU in their opener, 27-20, and they sandblasted Utah State. As I said, 49-0. So their D's only given up 10 points a game. A scanty 10 points a game.
Wow, that's stellar.
Michigan's in trouble, okay? When you only return, count it, one starter from 2023 on offense.
Just one.
Yeah, that's usually a recipe for disaster. And after watching a few of their games, it's clear that their offense flat out struggles. Michigan is 0-3 against the spread this season, and I don't see them breaking that trend this week against USC. Okay, the Trojan offense is far too loaded. So, Chip, if you want to do yourself, folks out there, you want to do yourself a favor, dial up that jeweler you've been wanting to contact. Because
The jeweler.
I'm the jeweler. Your significant other deserves it. Go ahead, gang. Okay, order something real nice. Because after you load up on the Trojans this week, that price tag will not be an issue. USC minus 5.5. Don't be scared. Drop the hammer.
Drop it.
As far as the college picks, my final college pick here coming up, it was incredible this morning. As I stirred in the Cholula hot sauce with my 3-egg omelet, I glanced down and saw swirls of red.
No.
Red.
No.
It was pure karma, friends. Pure karma. I couldn't help but to think of the big red machine. You heard it here first. The Cornhuskers are back.
Uh-oh.
They have an outstanding freshman quarterback in Dylan Raiola and a defense that takes me back to the 90s when guys like Peter, Booker, and Minter were roaming the field. The Huskers are minus 8.5 at home this week versus the Fighting Illini. Nebraska's 3-0 against the spread this season and is 26th in the country, scoring 34 points a game. Meanwhile, their stingy D has only given up 8.5 a game, good for 9th in the country.
Huh.
Do you happen to know the coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers? Just out of curiosity. Don't want to put you on the spot.
I think you're putting me on the spot. I always think of, what's his name? Tom from back in the day.
That's right, Tom Osborne.
Todd Osborne.
Yeah.
That's who I think all the time, but I do not.
No?
Wait.
This gentleman
Yes.
used to coach the Temple.
Yes, Matt Rule.
That is
it.
correct.
That's it.
Matt Rule's a tough coach with tough teams. Okay, and this year's Nebraska squad is no different. Okay, the guys as tough as they get.
Yes.
Just ask James Franklin how joyous it was for him and his team to get their teeth kicked in 27-10 by the Temple Owls back in 2015 at the Link. Nobody expected that one except, of course, him, the team, and their fans. I know I was blown away. As a matter of fact, Chip, I left before halftime.
No way.
It was a slaughter. I knew it was going to be a slaughter fest.
That's crazy.
Illinois is playing pretty well this season. Okay, they're 3-0, and they shouldn't be taken lightly, in all fairness. Although he doesn't scare me, their quarterback, Luke Altmaier's played pretty well to this point, throwing 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. That said, I think the Nebraska D, the raucous crowd at Memorial Field, coupled with Dylan Raiola's arm, is going to be too much for the Illini. They'll become overwhelmed in the fourth quarter, have to force plays. Chip, my friend, I'm feeling a good old-fashioned pick 6 to put the Huskers up 24 and push the game well out of reach.
Wow. That's a bold call. Not only on the pick 6, but I like Matt Rule. I do. He gives you everything he has, and he brings it with his players too. So I love it.
Yeah, folks, no hesitation here. Just make it happen. Okay, uncork on Nebraska -8.5 at home versus the Illini. That's it for my college picks. Do want to bring in my NFL pick?
I would love to hear it, Jay, because guess what? You called a good one last week.
Yeah, sometimes you're on the good side, sometimes you're not. Thankfully, I was on the good side last week.
It was nice.
So this week, you may sense a trend. The Raiders are at home giving 5.5 to the hapless Panthers. Hapless Panthers. Listen, Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers, they were cooking last week, and I don't expect it to change against this week's feeble opponent. You know why, Chip? Because the Panthers are so foul you could shoot them. That's right. They stink. And you know what? I'm not wasting any more of our precious time on this slaughter fest. I'm not. Just don't forget who told you so, folks. Hammer the Raiders at -5.5 and take advantage of the bookmakers' clouded lenses while you can, because it will not last. This will not last. They'll be on to the old factory stench of the Panthers next week, thus ramping their lineup to double digits. Trust me on this one, folks. Crush, hammer the Raiders at -5.5. Love them. Panthers, they still stink.
Until proven otherwise.
Fair.
Am I right?
Fair.
Think about it, because it looks like, we should take, any of us take against the Panthers every week.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But, man, I'll tell you, so what we'll do is we'll bring in the pros and we'll go from there.
Sounds fantastic.
Here we go, Jay. Time for some NFL picks analysis. I don't know, because some things just don't make sense to me. I mean, talking about, piggyback on what we talked about, crazy things are happening. That's why I'm looking at, you have Baker Mayfield. We all know how his story goes, but all of a sudden, he's resurging. He's probably in the right system for him, but they go to Detroit last week and beat the Lions.
This guy didn't expect it.
I'm looking at, okay, let's bet against Tampa this week. How long they can keep us going? However, guess who's coming to Tampa, Jay? Bo Nix and the Broncos. And I'll tell you what.
Dr. Nix.
He looks like an athlete with some of the plays that he makes. However, he's a little rough around the edges. And I can't imagine leaving that mile-high air and coming. I didn't even look at the weather. I meant to look at the weather. Just to add that on top, it's got to be humid down in Tampa this time of the year, right?
My goodness.
It's humid here.
Sweet Jesus. Probably sniffing triple-digit heat index.
Bo Nix is not going to know what hit him.
No. Nope.
So, with that being said, I like to ride the hot quarterback and take Tampa minus the 6.5 against the visiting Broncos. Ooh. I think they're going to have to pack some extra gum for Sean Payton, because if you don't notice, he likes his juicy fruit. He likes his juicy fruit. He's going to keep going through that, and he's got these new fancy shades I saw last week. I just think that Tampa's going to keep it running.
I feel the same way, Chip. I really do. I mean, listen, I think part of it, from an offensive standpoint, they've kind of working on a little bit of a two-headed monster in the backfield. And remember, this is Godwin's second year off his injury.
Yes, and that's always the key one.
And he looks like a different player.
Yes, he does. Mike Evans on one side, you got Godwin. So I'm going to go with the hot quarterback.
Okay, I like that.
So here's another one that I was looking at. There's another couple games I'm going to throw out there for later, but Seattle, Miami. Miami, obviously they lost their quarterback, who doesn't want to retire, by the way. So they're going to stash him in IR for a while until I guess the light bulb goes off, because I really do feel bad for the guy. I mean, come on, you're getting, even though he went in like head first and wasn't giving himself up, he still got his bell rung again.
Chip, this CTE business is real.
No, it is real. No, it is.
It's real. And I'm in no position to tell the person what to do. That's for sure. But darn, if I want anybody getting that.
No, it's too many times of rattling that brain around, because I think I forget who they said, but anyway, they go, you hit your head, but your brain keeps moving, and that's what it rattles around that way. But so Miami searching for a quarterback, don't know what to do. Obviously, they have weapons, they have speed. Is Mike McDaniel will be able to overcome this? I don't know, because he's very creative. But that line opened up in Seattle, Miami going into Seattle -6.5, and since has dropped to 4.5. So Miami's getting 4.5. You would think, wow, load up on Seattle. That's why, folks. That's right. Miami plus the 4.5. It went down. It doesn't make sense. That's why I like Miami. Something's telling me on that line right there.
We got a little trend going here, Chip.
Hey.
Is it it doesn't make sense week here in the NFL?
Hey, they're making me do it. I don't know what to do. Hey, exactly. But we'll see what happens, right?
Good players adjust.
That's right. We'll see what happens, because usually I'll wait a few weeks in to see what lines jump at me. We're only in week 3, and it's too early. It's just too early. So that brings me to my next pick. So, San Francisco, one of the favorites in the NFC also, went to the Super Bowl last year, goes into Minnesota. With who as a quarterback in Minnesota?
Oh my goodness, no. Don't do it. Right now, is that slinging Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold looks like the second coming of Joe Montana. Good for him. I love seeing this, because, listen.
Everybody loves a comeback story.
Exactly, but they're all good athlete quarterbacks to be even a starter in the NFL. But why is the top and the bottom? It just doesn't make sense. But I'm glad he unfortunately for McCarthy, but he got a resurgence, and he's doing well. San Francisco comes in, 97-yard touchdown to JJ. Hey, we're doing well, right? They beat San Francisco.
Who the thunk?
Yet, here comes the Houston Texans into Minnesota.
We know about the Texans now, don't we?
They're both 2-0. They're both 2-0. Texas, Houston's not probably, obviously, where they were at the end of the year last year, but they're coming off that, and I kind of have a half an eye on them because they're solid. I like their coach, too.
Yeah.
And I happen to have my man Nico on my fantasy team. But, so,
let's go.
Texas going into Minnesota, giving 1.5 to Minnesota. Why won't you take Minnesota, right? Not this guy. No. Not this guy. We're going into Minnesota, the Houston Texans, and we're giving 1.5. And we're going to win by at least a field goal. And that is something we have to watch this week. These 3 against the grain picks. And with that being said, before we kind of close it out and pass it to our Monday night segment, I want you to watch a game. Watch a game, Jay.
Yep.
The lines come out, Sunday night, like late? Call it Monday.
We'll call it Monday.
Call it Monday morning.
Yeah, call it Monday morning.
The Eagles are going into New Orleans. They were given New Orleans 3. We watched the game. In fact, we were together Monday night, Jay. Still can't believe it. Still can't believe it.
Still from that game.
And the Eagles, and I'm not trying to pick on the Eagles. Everybody knows I'm a Cowboys fan, but I just analyze, and Eagles are tough. They have a tough road to hoe on defense. They just are. But because of the game, I don't know if A.J. Brown out has anything to do with this, but Eagles were -3. Now they're getting 2.5. This is one of the games where I said, watch the Eagles go in and just slaughter New Orleans. I just can't see it happen based on the eye test of watching both games and them on defense. That New Orleans, they look like pretty high-powered.
The Eagles' pass rush looked rather
They have a pass rush.
inept.
Exactly. So just follow that line, going from -3 to 2.5, where you would go, wow, now they're getting points. Let me take the Eagles. And I had the Eagles Monday night. It didn't work out. I just watch out for New Orleans if that is, just because that's too big of a swing. And as you can see, we did things a little bit different, trying to. With that being said, we're going to bring in our Monday night segment from Mr. Monday Night. I don't know where he is, but he sent over his pick.
This is Mr. Monday Night. It was a tough one in Philly on Monday. You know, I think even if Saquon catches that pass or Hurts hits a totally wide open Goddard and we cover, I'm not sure the Eagles defense has anyone even rush the QB and make a stop. But we move on here. This Monday night, I absolutely love the Cincinnati Bengals laying 7.5 at home against an improved Redskins team. The Bengals notoriously get out of the gate slow, but I saw Burrow make some more comfortable from his he looks just a lot more comfortable from his injuries. So I say bet little Tommy's college tuition and take the Bengals -7.5. There it is. You have a lead pipe cinch. These top picks, by the way, are brought to you by Cinch Propane. Get your propane delivered right to your home and stay green.
Well, Jay, I'm going to say this every week. I had fun again.
Yeah.
3 episodes. It's just great to sit back and just do our thing, call our games, be a little bit different. Everybody and their mother has a podcast or a show, but guess what? The beauty of ours is the Fireside football chat. Fireside. We can go to a different fire. We can go anywhere we want. We can adapt. We can overcome. And what do good players do?
They adjust.
That's right, Jay.
Good players adjust.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for coming.